Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome back to yet another video.
As we promised, we
I'm so
tried
happy.
to
It's like
be
it didn't.
consistent.
Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed the other video about the friendship.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna talk about marriage. So we're not experts, even though I love to believe that I have my license in it because I have done a lot of studying and a lot of experience.
I mean, with everything that you've been through, yeah.
Right. I think I think I qualify to say I can talk on this topic.
Yes. So if you're new, welcome here.
Yeah.
And make sure to hit that subscribe button. And
right.
if you've been here forever, thank you so much for always supporting us despite the.
So the main reason obviously is Allah's plan. Right? That's the only reason.
I know that.
Thank you.
أتذكر يوما كنت تعانق دمعة الفكر تناجي الله في صبر وترجو رحمة تسري فعاش القلب إخلاصا واصرا.
Yasin, tell me and the viewers why you have not gotten married right now. You're at the ripe age.
Because I want peace. I don't want problems. On a more serious note, like she said, the first point, very most important, is because of, Allah's plan. When aunties come and tell you, oh, why are you not married? You're looking at them like, auntie, I'm waiting for God. Because there are people that have like the man of their dream, the woman of their dream, but Allah has not said, this is the time. So that's the number one reason why. But the second reason, which is also so much very important, have you seen the market, girl?
Oh, the market is terrible. Oh my God.
The market
is terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. Like we're literally out of stock. There's nothing out there. It's devastating. It might sound funny, but it's kind of scary. And as Muslims, we know that not everybody is the same. Not every man is the same.
Right.
But at the same time, that doesn't mean you just go out there and be like, oh yeah, not every man is the same. Somebody is different. You just have to take your time and be careful. And I feel like, marriage is something that you should not rush. Like they say, you should not delay marriage, but at the same time, you should not rush marriage,
I mean, the only time you should not delay marriage is if you've found a partner and then they are responsible enough. It's not every Tom, Dick and Harry that you see in the street. You're like, okay, let me delay it. Let me go and marry whatever first proposal I get.
That is actually very smart because I feel like people throw away the word, oh, you're delaying marriage just because they just find somebody, just has someone, and all of a sudden they were like, oh, you're just delaying marriage. But what you said actually made sense because, yeah, the market part. It is scary. Like I always say, you believe in Allah, you believe that there is, a good person out there because we have seen so many terrible people out there. I'm not saying all men are bad, just like we have men, bad men, we have bad women too.
Again, Allah's plan. Wallahi, if it's not Allah's plan, I'll be married by now. And it will not be a good marriage. I'm 100% sure it will not be a good marriage. Again, like I said, it's not all any Tom, Dick and Harry to see that you get married to. Even though, because being an impart, right? Like growing up as an as the eldest, I was brought up to basically think of my younger ones first before myself, right? So I grew up not even knowing what I want. Like till this day, I'm trying to know what I want. When someone comes to the proposal, you have this like, oh, he's a good person, blah blah. Say yes. Like I didn't know how to say no. Anyone who come basically is like, okay, you know what? He knows Quran, so I'm just gonna say yes to him. It's not even one of those Quran that is good. Please, let's not even be shy to say that.
Yeah, just because you pray don't make you a good person.
Right. Just because you memorize the Quran doesn't mean you follow the Quran. You say yes to these people, and then later realize that, this is not actually. Even though I didn't know what I want, I know what they were showing me was exactly not what I wanted. And Allah had to pull me out of it. As an African woman, I grew up thinking, oh, as a woman, like, I don't want you guys to come for me, but I grew up thinking, as women, our feelings did not matter, and we can compromise.
Girl, nobody's gonna come for you because that is the truth.
Right, we can compromise.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think about what I wanted. I'm like, oh, if it's something that I didn't like, I'm like, oh, I can compromise. Compromise was going to kill me. Yeah. At some point, you compromise so much, you're like, I'm a human being with feelings too. You cannot be with somebody who is always like, take, and they don't want to give. Again, back to the market being bad. Those are the people that you were like, I was basically coming across. And at some point, I'm like, is it that these are the only people that are out there, or am I attracting this kind of people? And if I'm the one attracting this kind of people, what does that mean? Do I have to like change my ways? Because do I have to do something about myself to stop attracting this kind of people? Because they're terrible. Like, not the worst of people, obviously, but not for me.
Most of us, we don't know ourselves, and we just get into marriages. You don't know how to love yourself, you don't know how to value yourself, you don't know your flaws, you don't know how to acknowledge your flaws. And like you said, we grew up in an environment where the woman has to always be the one sacrificing. You sacrifice, you compromise. It's like you don't have feelings. And I feel like there's like, no one is like ready and perfect for marriage, but I feel like there are things that I need to work on, myself, because I feel like there are some things which I'm not going to list that if I were to take it in a marriage, it's not going to help out. It's not going to help at all.
Right.
Because marriage is not selfish, and I would definitely want someone that who is willing to put in the work, just like how I would be willing to put in the work. So like she said, the working part, working on yourself is really important, because most women they have a lot of things to work on, but they just be like, because they have this idea that, oh, marriage is so important. I'm not saying it's not important, but it's not your number one priority. Like, it shouldn't be the number one thing on your list. Again, it's your list.
Girl, want the podcast?
No, again, it's your list.
Come for you.
Again, it's your list, But like, what I'm saying, what I mean by it shouldn't be the number one thing on your list is like, okay, it can be the number one thing on your list, but don't make it so important that you actually forgot about. Obsessed with it, that you forgot about yourself. You actually don't think about yourself. All you're thinking about is the marriage. Because I feel like once you work on yourself, you know how to value yourself. You're actually happy with yourself. It's like you love yourself. Because I always say that, how can you love somebody else when you don't love yourself? Because at the end, you're gonna end up getting hurt. So for me, like, this delay, this time, I'm not complaining, because this time, I'm using this time to work on myself, to do things, because there are things I want to do for myself before somebody else comes into my life. Because I am also a people. I am a person. I have my dreams, I have my feelings, I have things that I want to do for me.
As a woman, you go to school, probably maybe grade 12 if you're lucky. For some people, grade 9, and then they get married at 12. Some don't even go to school. I was lucky, one of the lucky ones to actually go. Alhamdulillah. And I'm so glad. Like, school, some people will be like, oh, you guys are so westernized, but if I believe if I didn't go to school, the way of my thinking will really be so traditional, in a way that I won't even consider Islam. Like, when I was young, I wanted to get married young, by like 23. That was the age I set for myself, right? Right. Girl, why are you laughing? So when I was young, that's the age I set for myself. I'm like, I'll be done with college by then, and I'll get married. All those things that you set for yourself. Because as a woman, you have to. It's like society that you have to get married. Men can say, I don't want to get married, and they'll be fine. And women will say, I don't want to get married, and they'll be dragged through the mud, because that's basically
your reason for existing.
Exactly. For some people, that's their reason for existing. I had really
it's really
low
bad.
standards when it came to what I wanted in a man. Like I said, I didn't really know what I wanted, apart from being a habit and a good person. With the education I have, alhamdulillah, I'm able to like learn and understand more, and I can actually do my own research. Go to, when I say my own research, I don't mean Google, but like go in depth, read books and everything, to just understand my rights as a Muslim. And with that being said, your rights, what Allah has given you, and then you're coming across people or men who they believe to be so knowledgeable, but then they're so traditional in a way that if something doesn't favor them in Islam, they don't want to hear about it. It's like they don't want to give it to you. So with coming across people like that, I have done myself a favor and set my standards high. Because before I was like, you know what, again, I can compromise. Again, you know what, I can manage, I can adapt. But later it's like, can you though? If you cannot deal with something at the beginning, what makes you think you can deal with the same thing later on? Because I'm thinking their happiness is my happiness. They're not thinking that. They're not thinking my happiness is their happiness. And growing up as a Gambian woman, as a Gambian girl in the Gambian society, when you see how not all of them, but a lot of them, the men, how they treat their wife, and then you have the same, you think, okay, this is the our society where alhamdulillah we are educated, so this we're not educated, blah blah blah, so we'll be fine. You have the educated ones also thinking the same way. You're like, what is wrong with our education system?
Yeah, the point you said is very important about knowing the kind of man that you want, because I feel like also, like she said, we were, well, not now, but before, the education and everything, we were just stuck with, oh, we just want somebody who prays 5 times a day. We just want someone who memorizes Quran. We just want somebody, who leads the prayer. We just want somebody who doesn't listen to music. Not knowing that somebody is not necessarily good, just because they read Quran, just because they pray 5 times a day. Somebody could actually go and learn Deen but have no akhlaq. The character is terrible, it's really bad. Because I like before I was also superficial, just thinking about those. Oh yeah, he prays, that's fine. He does this, at least he, that's, I wouldn't even consider someone trying. Like that was me before. Islam is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not just say, oh, we just go and learn Quran and that's it, because there are other like knowledge that he put out there that you go and learn. Most women settle. You just choose to settle because that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, he's a razaq, he provides. Believe that you're gonna have that person. Never settle.
Like, oh, I want a woman, she has to be a baddie, she has to cook, she has to clean, whatever. And the woman is like you come and tell me, I'm like, okay, that's fine, I can manage and do all that. And I tell you, okay, I want a man who is compassionate, I want him to be a provider, I don't want him to force me to work or force me to contribute anything. He's like, well, like, you're asking for too much. You can get what you want from me, but I can't get what I want from you.
Yeah, it's like people don't know what marriage is. I feel like some people marry because they need somebody to do
some pressure.
Yeah, they need somebody to do something. Like they just need someone there.
They want their mom, basically.
Yeah, some people just marry because they want a maid. Some people marry because they want a slave. Because basically, that's how can you say, oh, I want you to be my life partner, and I don't even have a say in the marriage.
Right.
Like just because Islam says the man you
obey the husband.
But you are abusing that power. The funniest part is when they are on the internet claiming, oh, women are not submissive, and to them submission is to be quiet when you're told to shut up, to sit down, basically to take orders.
Yeah, like a president and his people. If a president is a good leader, you will not hear people talking and striking because the president is a good leader. But if you are not a good leader, obviously that's when you start to have problems with your people. When a woman talks about how she wants someone to provide, they call her a gold digger.
Oh no, yeah, that's the new.
But then, if their sister brings a man who cannot provide, the same man will be like, nope, I'm not allowing my sister to marry you. But then there's someone else's sister who is asking for the same thing. Why is she a gold digger and your sister is not a gold digger? I believe marriage is a covenant between you and God. That's how I believe. Because if you get married, you decide that you're getting married, you're deciding to sign. Allah has given you a paper already that you decide to sign and say that you're going to do things the way Allah has asked you to do it. And the way Allah has asked you to do it, it's like we should hold a marriage 101 class.
I know, right? For me, the other reason is basically responsibilities. I have a lot of baggage. I have a lot of luggage. Family responsibilities. I want to do things, even though Allah is a razaq. But for the time being, this list is not like an excuse, but it's like saying for the time being, as Allah has not said,
oh yeah,
it's time.
We're not getting married.
Yeah.
If we upload this video right now and then the next day you hear Aisha is getting married, please, I never said I'm not getting married.
Yeah, I believe that this delay is because of I have things that I have to do, and family things. I have, because I'm the firstborn. It should stop there. It's flexible to a point. Market, no.
She's available.
I am not available.
Like at this point, I'm building a kind of life that I want to live. Honestly, if there has to be a guy in my life or a husband, I'm not saying he has to live according to me, but he has to we have to have similar interests. It reminds me of one guy I was talking to, and then he told me that he's not interested, he doesn't have much interest in education and all that. And I'm like, can you please move aside? I know it's kind of superficial. It's like, oh, shouldn't it be more about Quran? Obviously, Quran also has to be there because the same person was also not. They even said they were not religious or whatever. And the younger version of me will be like, okay, we will help them get there. I'm not a project.
Like she said, you know how somebody is, you actually not change. I don't want to say change, but I can help him do better, religious wise. If somebody is not making any efforts for their Rob, what are they gonna do?
Like,
for
who are you? Who are you?
Like, why would they change their ways for you?
I mean,
I'm not saying
some people do it.
Some people do, but it's a risk.
Like I said, the younger me will have been like, oh, I'm gonna change him and stuff like that. But the older me is like, girl, no. You have lived your life giving. No more. You don't have any more energy to be trying to fix people.
No, don't fix people. That's not your job.
That person was like, what, 10 years older than me?
Oh wow.
How am I going to change that person? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I know you don't lose yourself trying to fix somebody. You know, I know we're not saying don't go and try to help, but you know,
I believe in giving people chances and all that.
No, I'm so glad you say chances. Because this girl be giving chances until there are no chances. You come and invent other chances to give people. I don't even understand. Ha. Hey.
I believe in giving people chances and all that. But from doing that, what I've learned is, honestly, if someone does something once, let me just say excuse them and say it twice, you know, and it's the same thing, and you've talked about it and they have still not improved. Really, don't waste your time. Like, don't waste your mental health on that. In the Gambian society,
Gambians, when you're watching this, I'm not here.
oh my god,
I am Ugandan.
And
for the sake of my safety, in this video, I'm Ugandan for now.
in the Gambian society, a lot of our boys get married due to pressure. You know, oh, my friends are getting married. Oh, families asking. Like, I know somebody who got married because family was asking him to get married. You know, and he was so stressed about the whole thing. Now imagine having to put that stress on other women. You know, like you married me because family pressured you. Please no, please take your marriage to yourself. If
you don't marry for the wrong reasons.
They're married for the wrong reasons.
They don't know why they're getting married. Why are you getting married? Oh, because I'm
know.
at this age.
I'm at the age of getting married.
Or because I'm the firstborn. Or because my family is pressuring me.
Or my mom needs help.
Exactly.
that kills me.
Oh, why? Oh, well, because I'm at the age of marriage. They don't even know why they're getting married.
They're getting married just to have kids. That's fine. That's okay. We have to populate the earth. That's okay. I don't mind that. But at least help me. The mom cannot do all that in her. She's strong, but she cannot do all that in her on her own. And then, you know, she starts to like focus on the kids so much. They're like, I had somebody who was telling me, oh, so when we get married, we're not gonna have kids because you're gonna give the kids attention more than me.
I think the guy thought that was romantic. I think the guy watched the movie and said, let me try to apply it in the real world, not realize how creepy he was sounding. Yeah, definitely that was creepy. How can you be jealous of your own kids?
But anyways, so it's like me then was like, oh, that's not gonna happen. But anyways, now I'm thinking about it. It's like, if that happens, it's because if women actually do that, it's because they're not getting help. But if you help your wife, if you help her in taking care of the kids, she will have enough time to spend time with you.
I'm actually gonna make a different video.
Yeah, I think let me stop talking about
marriage. We're gonna specifically talk about Gambian society because we don't know the whole globe. So you can come at us, but it's just the truth because there's so many things that are wrong with the marriage.
I'm just gonna pause.
So we're sitting down, yeah, they're Westerns. Yeah, if we're talking about Islam, we're Westerners. So how are you, George? We are Westerners. We don't mind being Westerners. Since now you see Muslims, you're telling them about Islam. They're telling you, oh, it's the Western ideology.
It's a risk. Honestly, you are lucky sometimes. You're not lucky, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to take that risk right now.
Yeah.
Like again, like I said, if Allah does not help me, I'll probably be married right now, and it will not be good for me. Because after I like cut these people off later on, I started to realize that I actually need to love myself. But apart from it being Allah's timing and the market being scary, you know, I have the journey that I have been through. I have learned a lot about myself in terms of, girl, you need to sit down and start focusing on yourself and start loving yourself and start thinking about what you want, what you can tolerate, and what you cannot. Because some things I'm like, well, I think I'm someone who can tolerate anything, but that's wrong.
It's not to discourage you or to say, you know, marriage is a bad thing. No, it's just basically
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's a
if
beautiful
done right.
thing done right.
So I do know that marriage is not all like all shiny butterflies. It can be. It can actually be. I believe if there's any problem, it should be from outside, and it should be both of us fighting to make it work. It shouldn't be me alone fighting you. It shouldn't be you fighting me. We should both fight together to make it work. If there's a problem, we sit down like adults and talk about it and look for solutions.
You don't just get up and say, I want to get married.
And
because
pray.
marriage is not just something you get up.
Istikhara. And if you do istikhara, don't be rushing it.
I know.
Some of you be rushing it. I mean, I was there.
I think people forget that when you ask Allah. You do not tell Allah when. Allah will give you the
not
when.
even the when.
You know?
It's like you pray istikhara, then he texts you something nice, you're like,
that's the sign.
that's a sign.
Yep, Allah works fast.
You're like, it has been accepted. Please just take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time, because we have so many failed marriages these days, and people are like, oh, it's because of Western influence.
Not Western influence. People just get up and just get married.
Yourself.
You getting married or not getting married is not gonna prevent you from going to Jannah.
Right.
You're gonna go to Jannah. You're gonna get your rewards. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna love you still. So I don't want you to sit there and be like, oh no, I'm not getting married. You know, it's hard though in this society we're in right now because social media. So I don't want you to get married because you want to depend. It's not bad to depend on someone, but at least love yourself first. Have that strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, learn about yourself, learn about your deen, go out there and do stuff for you. You know, appreciate you first. Because if you don't do that and you just get up and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get married because of, you know, family pressure, because my peers are getting married, you're getting married for the wrong reasons. So you can tell we're not experts in this thing, but we're doing what we can.
We're having a conversation.
I know, right?
We're not giving psychological evaluation.
Yeah, this is just
We're having a
personal.
conversation.
It's just our opinions. You know, you can agree, you can disagree, but hey, fight with your keyboard.
We would love to hear your opinion. So, anyway, assalamu alaikum.
ما زلت تذكرها وتذكر روعة الذكر